Welcome to the Bums Corner Coast to Coast podcast. The views and opinions expressed in this show are those of the hosts and are not those of Bums Corner Media Enterprises. This program contains strong language. Listener discretion is advised. Listen at your own risk. God, I hate this gig.
Me too, lady.
Yeah.
Me too.
How about you fun her?
She does what she's told.
Well, what's not to like about that?
Absolutely. She worked to cheap, I'll say that much.
Hat tip.
So, hey, welcome.
Hey.
Greetings. I think this is like our 55 consecutive months that we've been doing this or something to that event.
Something like that. I was told there would be no math.
That's the extent of it. Yeah, I think we're on episode 55 or something of the sort.
Yeah.
We're back on our pace since we took the summer off, so Tom could move.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
So, it was across the country.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. But now we're back. We're in Tom's house in Studio A.
Studio A.
Like an actual room to record in.
Yeah. Well, it's getting there. I got to get some stuff on the walls, but
yeah,
there's a surface. There's power.
There is. We're at a table now with alcohol and equipment. We have cool podcast toys.
Yeah.
Like little laptops and stuff. It's like a truly professional getup.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that one thing has changed since Tom moved out here is like when we were doing the show pre-June, let's say. That was typically the only time of the month we would actually talk to each other. So it was always exciting. I'm like, I wonder what he's been up to. But now I know.
Right. Well, yeah. Now it's like, well, I know what you did because I was there.
You were there.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And it's good for me because you and Sarah were so starved for entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
And I consider myself middling. So, when they came here all emaciated for having nothing to do, I'm like, I can fill this void. Because, I am the oatmeal of the entertainment world.
You were the font of fun, which we drink heartily.
Yes. And I mean, honestly, it's easy to find things to do when you have like-minded people, and there is always something to do in this city too.
I'm finding that out. And before, 25 years ago, it was like, there was stuff to do,
right?
But a lot of it was like just hanging out.
Yes.
Which nothing against that,
right?
But. Like, there's events. There's things to go,
right.
You're not just hanging out on somebody else's couch watching TV in someone else's room.
Right.
You're like, there's things to do.
Right.
There's actual events and
sure
and fun things to experience.
Right. Well, we're older.
Yeah.
And the organization part of that is fun because I don't think now I could do what I did at 25, which, like you said, go and hang out at somebody's house for 8 hours.
Yeah.
I would get bored.
Yeah.
So I think that to keep us occupied, but B, we also have money now.
Yeah.
Which is a huge factor. I mean, when we were 25, if you told us, hey, man, we're going to meet for one meal and it's going to cost $50 a head.
Yeah.
I would have laughed. That would have been my entertainment for the night. I'm like, you're so funny.
That's crazy. Yeah. Give me another old Milwaukee light.
Right, exactly. And can you cut it a little with iced tea? Because I don't want to go crazy because we'll be out of beer by 3
I only have 12.
But yes, I mean, God, I mean, we have done a ton of shit since you got back.
It's funny. I was talking to... one of my colleagues back in California, and just telling them, look, in the 5 months that we've been in Ohio, we've done more in 5 months than we did in 11 in California.
Right.
It just nothing like event. We went and saw shows and stuff, a couple times when we were in California, 3 times. Just the sheer ability to go and do things,
right?
we've had dinners in restaurants more than ever since we left Germany. I mean, like, oh, wow. You know,
well, and I think you mentioned it last time, too, that it's because we have access to everything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to, when you were in California, if you're leaving your house, there had to be intention. You know, like, you had to map your day out based on
it had to be timed perfectly. You had to know what else was happening in the area, within 100 miles, because that would dictate the amount of traffic that you would have to endure, which would, affects the time that it takes you to get you there. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more logistical nightmare that has to happen, and a lot more planning that has to happen in California than here. It's like, oh, you want to go do this thing? All right.
Yeah, I think
20 minutes.
You have to avoid the OSU home games.
Yeah.
Don't go to campus.
Right.
That one's pretty easy. But the only other one I can think of similar to that is if there's a show at the Schottenstein Center and a Clipper game at Huntington Field. Yeah. They're both within a block of each other, and they share the same parking. So avoid, if you're not going to that event, don't go to that area.
Okay.
But other than that, everything is so spread out here, you know, that it's not an issue.
It's spread out, but still close enough to be convenient.
Everything's 20 minutes away.
And it's funny because, like, for years it was 20 minutes. Everything was 20 minutes away when I lived here in 1999.
It's true,
and it's not changed, but there's just so much more.
Right.
Like, we're in Gehenna now, and it's like when I left, Gehenna was like out there.
Yes.
Like, you're in Lewis Center. You're like Polaris, Lewis Center.
Oh,
that was like, oh, God.
Remember, like, when we were younger, somebody's like, oh, you know, there's a party and, like, somebody's parents live on Orange Road. You're like, no, we're not going out there.
Forget it. My God, that's where people go to get killed.
Right. That's Children of the Corn.
That's where they find bodies. Orange Road.
Right. Yeah. And now that's got, like, a Home Depot on it that's busy every day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the city's grown up. So you've been here long enough now. What's one thing that you've noticed that was missing from when you lived here 90s back?
When I left, let me think. The brewery district was kind of coming into its own.
Okay.
And it's just that block on Front Street.
Right.
And that was kind of like the only place where you could go to find like a craft brew or something like that.
Okay.
And there were little upstart, like little mom and pop out of someone's garage.
Right.
That were trying. It was like, yeah. The amount of microbrews and independent breweries and distilleries and stuff are amazing.
Right.
It's exploded. And like, so far I haven't had a bad one.
We have a pretty solid community of brewers. Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, it's Ohio. And I always harken back to Heather's, where the line, and you're in Ohio.
Yeah.
If you don't have a brewski in your hand, you may as well be wearing a dress. And that resonated with me even, like, when I first saw that. I'm like, okay, yeah, someone who wrote this has been to Ohio.
That tracks.
Like, they know. And it's just, it just sort of compounds that idea of, well, I don't want to go too far for a drink, so we'll just make it ourselves.
Yep.
You know, fuck these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just do it.
And you're right. In that time frame, there were a ton of those little garage breweries.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's legitimized.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond the point where, like, oh, it's pretentious. No, some are, obviously.
Right.
But for the most part, it's like, no, we just like making beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like good beer, and so I'm going to make some.
Yep.
And if you like it, great. If not,
Right.
Go across the street. There's another one you can try.
Absolutely.
Because the whole, nationwide, the whole idea of the craft beers. Oh, my craft beer.
Right.
Oh my God, fucking your craft beer. It's like, it's for real here.
Yeah.
Like, they take this shit seriously, but not to the point where, like, there's a pissing contest. It's like, oh, you make beer? I make beer.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, and you'll find the longer you're here, the more like my social media is just buried with these guys because I've been going there for years.
Right.
You'll find collaborations, like somebody across town will send their brewery over to somebody else, and they'll build something. They'll make like a batch together. So it's not like you said. There's there's competition, but I mean, shit. What was it? A few weekends ago, we drove to Granville just to go to breweries.
Yeah,
and we bounced around for 6 hours and came home.
We went three or four places just in Granville.
Yeah,
it's a great afternoon.
I am all for the day drinking,
and it was like that was like boggling my mind.
Yeah, right.
First of all, that Grandview was closer than I ever thought it was.
It seemed so far away when we were young, wasn't it?
God, it was like, God, when is going to Pennsylvania?
Right.
It's just right there. But Granville's always been kind of a cool, funky little town. Mm-hmm. But to have like the amount of like really top notch, breweries and food.
Oh God, yeah.
Damn.
That was solid. That was solid.
But Columbus is that way now. And we've always liked pizza. And so it was never hard to find a slice.
Right.
That's been stepped up. But the beer game surpasses my expectations.
Oh, yeah.
The point that they take it seriously, but they're not dicks about it.
And that's the thing. There's so many that you now you can't afford to be a dick about it. You know, when they were first starting off, absolutely. You know, it was only not top guys with 5 o'clock shadows that drank there. But now, I mean, shit, most of them, people go there as families, you know, and take the kids there and hang all day. And they have trivia night and board game night and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. It's really interesting because a lot of the stuff that we liked to do back in the day that were, was, quote unquote nerdy.
Right.
It's like, well, now there's a night for it.
Yep.
It's several places across town. It's
yes.
like, oh, okay.
Right.
So that's cool now.
Yeah. Speaking of which, okay, so since last we recorded, you've been to your first beer tasting at Studio 35, which we're going back to Sunday for your second. And again, this is something that we have access to year round. But what were your impressions of your very first beer tasting at a movie?
That was fantastic. Never, nowhere else in the world,
right,
have I heard of or seen anything like that,
right?
Let alone experienced. It was so Columbus, Ohio,
right?
That's the best way I can explain it. It was laid back. It was cool. It was funky. It was funny. It was awkward. The guys were on point, but not pretentious.
Right.
The beers were good. The guys that were talking about the beers were knowledgeable. So it was educational. It was fun. I got a buzz on.
Yep.
Watched a movie. Everybody everybody was cool.
Yes, and that's the thing, man. There's such a great vibe in that room.
Yeah.
Like everybody's there to do the same thing, and it's not watch your phone while you're watching a movie or talk to your buddies. You're just there to try out 10 beers and watch a movie with 300 other people with the same intention.
Exactly.
And it's so much fun. Much fun.
What was cool was like everybody's there for the same thing.
Right.
And it's immediate, like, we're all family.
Yep.
We're all here to do this. And it's like, all right, cool. And like everybody's your friend.
Yes.
And that's so unusual. And historically for me, since I left Ohio.
I mean, if you go to AMC, it's not like that.
No.
Everybody... You get territorial about your seats, and you don't like people sitting next to you.
Right.
You want a buffer chair.
Yeah.
People coming in late, and you're angry. I hate going to other theaters just because everybody aggravates the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, there's no kids, obviously.
Right.
Everybody's super early, so nobody walks in late.
Yeah.
And everybody is half drunk by the time the movie starts. Like everybody in that room is half drunk.
At least. Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And again, it's just so unique of an event.
Yes.
Like only in Columbus.
Right.
Like who else? Where else in the world are you going to find somebody who goes, well, I got this movie theater. There's a pizza joint attached to it. We can make some food.
Right.
Hey, you know what? There's a lot of microbrews around. Let's get everybody together and just drink some beers and then we'll watch a movie.
They load up for Christmas too. There's like every weekend they have a different Christmas movie, and then Elf. I want to say it's like the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in December that they run it all weekend. Basically, they have tastings every day.
See,
and that's just cool shit to me.
Yeah,
I respect that.
And Elf is the perfect movie.
Oh yeah, because everybody's seen it a million times.
Yeah.
You're not missing anything by people being loud or getting up to go pee, because again they've been drinking for 2 solid hours before the movie starts. It's fun.
It's a fantastic event.
Bridesmaids there.
Yeah,
and same thing. I've seen that a million times, and everybody in the theater had seen it a million times.
Yeah.
But the girl sitting next to us about halfway through the presentation beforehand, where you're just watching shorts and drinking beer and listening to the guy talk. She has this little thing that looks like Banaka, like a little breath thing. And she's like, you guys want some weed? I'm like, I didn't know it came in a mist. She's like, yeah, try it. And so I did. But as I handed it back and I was thinking about it, I'm like, where else on the planet, like outside of a concert, would a stranger just offer you pot?
Right? I'm in a movie theater.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the fact that I'm day drinking on a Sunday is probably like, he's not a cop,
It's a safe assumption. Yeah.
Right. But like you said, like everybody in there's family, like we were at the end of a row because I have this entire strategy laid out when I go there. But like the whole time leading up to the movie, people are getting up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And in a movie, that would have bothered. Like I would have gone home angry if somebody like walked in front of me. But here, like, yeah, buddy, come on, like, hold my shoulder while you climb over.
Totally.
It's just it's a completely different vibe.
And it's like they're leaving their coat and their phone and their purse.
Yes.
And walking away from these things, into another room for a period of time, and then coming back, knowing full well, and rightly so,
my shit will be there.
All that shit's going to be there. Not only will it be there, the 2 people on the other side of me, I've got an eye on it.
Yep, absolutely.
Didn't ask them, but they're gonna.
Right.
We're all in this. We're all doing this thing.
Yep.
And yeah, that. It's good to be home, man.
Yeah. Does it feel like home?
Yeah.
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 Is it more than Germany, do you think?
Germany's tough.
Right.
Close.
Okay.
Getting there.
Yeah.
Germany it's a tough comparison. Because moving to Germany, it's like I just got married.
Right.
We got to Germany and we just had a kid.
Okay. Yeah.
And so
right.
Like adult Tom kind of happened in Germany.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's a lot of major events all happening in one place.
Yeah. And so it kind of became family Tom there.
Gotcha.
Which kind of set the foundation for 21st century Tom.
Okay.
But yeah, it's home.
Okay, so
we're home. I'm home.
Let me ask you this then: compared to before you left, is there anything in this city lacking that it used to have back in the '90s that no longer is prevalent or possible here in town?
Yeah.
Other than blatant racism. Yeah.
Overt racism. Yeah. I haven't really been here, I don't think, long enough.
Okay.
Just to scope the nooks and crannies. nothing as bad as I remember it.
Okay.
Which is, I guess, saying something because
Right.
Distance does amazing things to memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time and distance. So, yeah, even rose-colored glasses on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really missing anything.
Okay. The one thing, and again, I guess my view is a little skewed from yours because I got to see the gradual change. There was nothing. Your perception has a lot of suddenness to it, because you missed that gap. But I think a lot of neighborhoods have lost their personality because, it's like the Walmartization of the retail landscape. Not every neighborhood anymore has like that one grocery store that you can only like Carfagna still exists, but there used to be 5 or 6 other little stores like that all are scattered around the city, but there isn't that anymore. So I think like some of the little smaller neighborhoods all start looking the same, but
it was kind of leaning that way before, though. But I think, it's expanded.
And it's just gotten worse.
Yeah.
Clintonville grew and ate Beechwold. And now Jerry's, that is now a Chick-fil-A. And so that's weird. But again, like that happens all over the city. Just things get eaten, which it happens. But I think campus is a terrible example of that, which you go down High Street now, like 17th, 15th in that area. It looks nothing like it did when we were growing up.
It doesn't.
It's all commercialized.
Yeah.
It's all chains. Except for like the one giant, again, there's a movie theater. But there's nothing. Campus is no longer a destination for me. Like it used to be. Even in my 30s, like I could park down there, and it just like, okay, there's going to be 4 blocks of weird shit.
Yeah,
I could go shopping.
You could just walk down High Street until your ear told you to turn left and go into a place.
Yeah, like I'll start at Apollo's.
Yeah,
and like work my way north, but why now? Again, there's like a Firehouse Sub, a Target, a Subway,
a Jimmy
why
John's,
bother?
or whatever.
There's no. It's not as appealing as it used to be.
Yeah,
and again, it's like it got overdeveloped.
It's a cookie cutter. It looks very manicured.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Yes.
Because I did the tour. We did the drive down High Street. Like, we got to go down here, and completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
It was like, this is.
I think
like any street.
Last summer when you were here for the reunion, Rick wanted to go like to campus in downtown.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not going to waste our time.
Just,
picture any strip mall where you live, and it looks exactly like that.
Completely charmless.
Yeah,
and
that's a good
devoid of identity.
Yes.
Which, I guess, the parents who are paying for the tuition want to see that. Mm-hmm. There's no influences that are going to derail them from the future that I'm paying for.
Right.
I caution against that. I think the campus that we had prepared us for even better.
Oh yeah,
it was like, oh god,
yeah,
the mayhem.
It wasn't like scary.
No,
it's just you were exposed to so many different things.
Such a convergence and a confluence of
but you're right.
Sights and sounds and smells and tastes and drinks and
So like,
what's dripping on me?
Yes. Yeah. 18, 19-year-olds now. Yes, their parents want the safety and comfort of like a Target, but we got to experience like. And again, I grew up in Ohio, so if I wanted to go to a Jamaican convenience store, there was one of those on campus. I could absolutely jump in there and experiment. That's where I first started buying music, after I could drive.
Yeah.
When I was 14, 15, 16, it was Graceland, Buzzard's Nest.
Yeah.
But then, once I could drive, I would go to campus specifically to shop for music and comic books. Like Monkey's Retreat was down there.
Retreat, Magnolia.
And there's so much weird shit that we were exposed to. Now that again, Magnolia is still there. But,
is it?
Yeah. But you get a block south of Magnolia, and it's boring. It's just so cookie cutter. It looks like every other strip mall in the country. So that to me is what is lacking.
What they need is a slumlord.
Yes.
To come down there and buy everything.
That's the absolute opposite of what happened.
I know.
Campus
they
partners.
kicked the slumlord out.
Yeah.
They put him in
Campus
jail
partners for a decade was just gobbling up every inch that they could.
Yeah.
And then overnight, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
Now you have what is it? Like a CVS at Lane and High. Or something. Yes. At Lane and High, there's a CVS. Two sides are apartments, and then the other one's BW3s. Which, whatever. I'm aged out of going to campus. But
is it any honestly, is it any safer?
No.
Did they reach right? Have they met the goal that they wanted?
I don't think, and again, I don't have crime stats for that area, but it's still no.
It's probably the same.
So you go. All they did was it's like any gentrification. You dump a bunch of money in, you raise the rent within that exact circle, and all you're doing is making a larger concentric circle outside of that. So the element is still there.
Yeah.
They're just pushed.
It's just a block.
600 yards away. Exactly. So 15th Avenue is pretty safe.
Yeah.
Everything that was on 15th, it just got shoved to 13th. So, you're kicking the can down the road. So did you clean up crime for this exact spot? Absolutely.
Yeah.
All I did is I moved it right over there,
So, do you think, I just got here. Mm-hmm. So, to me, there seems like it sounds like a surge of violence and crime in the short north. I don't know how long that's been percolating, but does the timeline coincide with the gentrification? I mean, are they just pushing from campus into the short north? Is that where that's coming from?
No, the gentrification of campus happened a long time ago. Well, I mean, long for our example of you moving back. It's been a while. Short north got violent, Easton got violent. But again, it's the same thing. As you move your wealth to certain areas, you force everything.
It's a vacuum.
Because remember, when Easton first opened, that was like the gold jewel of that end of town.
Yeah.
But as people moved further away from 270, the malls and the gold jewels followed them out further from 270. So there was a vacuum where Easton was, and it got filled in by young people and gangs. That's going to happen everywhere. It doesn't matter. So the same thing with the short north, As things got pushed out further from the center of town, there was nothing there. So, yes, crime's going to increase because the cops follow the suburbanites. So I don't think they're related to the gentrification of campus, but it's the same result. That the money got shoved out, so it filled in that hole. And I don't think it's as bad. Yes, when living out here, you'll hear don't go to the short north, you'll get shot.
Yeah,
it's not that bad, but it's worse than it was.
Yeah,
but it's not that bad.
I mean, it was always I don't recall ever being oh, this is a really safe place to go.
Right. Seems like a great place to lay down and take a nap.
I lived that down there,
right?
Back in the day, and it was never I'm just going to walk there in the dark by myself. Which I did several occasions,
right?
But yeah, there was always you were never 100% safe.
Right.
I mean, you never are.
Right. I mean, honestly, it's not that terrible, but it's worse than it was.
It's noticeable now.
Yes,
or
absolutely.
It's caused a raised eyebrow.
Right.
Shall we say.
Yep. And again, the people that'll tell you that also live 30 miles from it and never go there.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, you know.
Because I heard about the short north and Easton from older people.
Easton's been going, for a while.
It's like, oh God, don't go there at night.
Tuttle will be next. Because again, like...
See, I'm surprised Tuttle is not all...
It's getting there,
Yeah.
but it'll be the next little epicenter of danger.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, remember City Center? The same thing. It's like...
yeah.
That went through that same cycle.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Easton's got enough going for it that it'll last a lot longer than City Center. Because, Wexner invested a lot of that good Epstein money into it. So it'll be here for a while.
Right.
I mean, fuck, our entire freeway system now diverts you into Easton, basically.
Yeah. There's like a 2 or 3 lane divergent, exit.
Yes. So
For like a mile and a half of, you're going to Easton? You get in this lane.
Right.
Let me open the velvet rope and you just go right
Even if you don't want to go there, if you're not paying attention, you end up there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'll last a while, but you'll see. I predict Tuttle will be the next one that'll be like the suburban mom, quote unquote, hotspot for gangs. Yeah, it's heading that way.
That makes sense. So I figured Tuttle would hit before Easton.
But
what the fuck do I know?
It's Dublin enough that it'll survive. But yeah, it's on a bus line. You're bringing a lot of people that aren't from the neighborhood into work,
right.
So it's going to happen.
Because you're outpricing.
Yeah, and Dublin's not affordable anymore, I mean, back in the day, there was affordable housing there, but not anymore, So it is what it is. Yep. But it's not all depressing. There's good news happening. We took last month off from making fun of people to make fun of your viewing habits. but Tom found just so much stupid.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We take 30 days off and the internet catches up with us.
It's great. The fall, for some reasons, it's like the opposite of spring. Where spring brings flowers and renewed hope, the fall brings out the idiots.
Yes. So I'll let Tom start because he picked the article that I wanted to do last month. And let's see if I do this correctly. There she is. Our SOS sound. Bring on the news. And now Tom with the news.
As it happens, here we go. Okay. We're assuming she didn't get the job. A woman visiting the Florida Keys for a job interview not only didn't get the job, she never even made it to the interview. Kimberly Marie Robins, age 47, and her husband, Charles Fronefeld Lambert, age 41, stopped off at a bar en route to the interview. They purchased a bottle of Crown Royal and polished off, quote, approximately half of it in about 5 minutes. According to a police report obtained by WPLG TV. After a fight with Lambert over her drinking, Robbins hopped back into their pickup truck to get away from him, but ended up crashing into the side of a building. After failing a battery of field sobriety tests, Robbins was taken to the local jailhouse for a breathalyzer test, where things got even worse. After spitting on a deputy's face, she allegedly grabbed his leg and pants and would not let go after he gave multiple verbal commands to do so, according to the report. The deputy had to use mechanical compliance to break free from Robbins. Robbins is facing charges of battery on law enforcement officer and resisting arrest with violence, along with 2 misdemeanor DUI charges. Lambert, the husband, is facing misdemeanor battery charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, I get, this little nip for the nerves.
Absolutely.
I get it. Half a bottle of Crown in about 5 minutes?
Right. That's amazing.
And then they get into a fight over her drinking.
The reason I picked this last month was every paragraph just kept getting better.
It's like, wow.
Right.
And like this all probably within the span of an hour.
Oh, yeah.
All of this happened. This entire story unfolded.
So she, if you read the bigger story, they were coming from North Carolina to the Keys for a job interview.
So they had to drive.
Yeah, that's a haul.
That's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I agree with you. Like a little nip for the nerves. 100% agree.
Sure.
I do not have an issue with that, but I did the math last month when I thought I was going to have to do this article, and that's 8 shots in 5 minutes. And the fact that he was yelling at her for her drinking probably means she drank most of them.
Right.
But so it was a carryout that was open, and I want to say this was either like 6 or 8 in the morning when this happened too. So you're nervous. You thought maybe I'll just take a little drink before the interview to calm myself.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to smash my truck into the side of a building and spit on a cop.
Yeah.
Was there any point during these 5 minutes where she thought to herself, maybe I need to throttle this back a hair,
Well, I'm looking at the bigger article real quick, and it's they drove to the bar and liquor store. Mm-hmm. They went into the bar and purchased the bottle,
Right.
and drank about half of it. So there's a bar open.
Yeah. Which
It's
the Keys.
great. When I was working overnights,
Yeah.
I forget the name of the place.
Ruckmore?
Not Ruckmore. Over off of Old Henderson, Kinney Center.
Hot Peppers?
No.
Okay.
Hole in the wall in the shopping mall.
Oh, in the
itself.
shopping mall. Okay.
There was a place that opened at 6:30,
Oh, yeah, nice.
and yeah, I was doing overnights.
Yeah.
More than once.
I know exactly where you're talking about. So right now it's a Staples, okay, in the front of the strip mall. And if you go to the right of Staples, it's right behind there.
Yeah, it was.
I know
It was
exactly
the back
where
end.
the bar
So
is.
yeah, if you came out of it, you could see Hot Peppers
Yes,
across the
yep.
street. So yeah, it was in the back ass of the Kinney Center.
It had
mall.
an Irish name, like O'Burns or some bullshit
It was
like that.
like, oh god, yeah.
Yep, I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It'll come to me.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the place.
There was something I was buying at the time where you had to go to a guy, and he was always at that bar.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. I'll assume illegal, but but it was shady as fuck. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I loved too. What appealed to me was her husband's name, Charles Fromfield Lambert. Of the North Carolina Lambert.
Of the North Carolina. Oh, yes.
Yeah, this was beautiful.
The Nag's Head Lamberts.
So, I mean, 2 DUIs in one accident. That is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So I loved
This is
everything about
just
this.
before 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like that's when I wake up.
Oh, just everything about this was so good.
Yeah, and I love the fact that they got into a fight about her drinking.
Yes.
It was probably because you drank your half out of mine. You selfish bitch.
Oh my God, yes. Which again, I could see that. That's an early morning liquor argument. Mm-hmm. Like this was for both of us.
Yeah, an early morning liquor argument between two people who drink early in the morning.
Yes.
On the regular.
So if she's driving from North Carolina to the Keys for a job interview, I can't fathom it being a very high-powered position. So, yes, this is the kind of person that doesn't just day drink, they morning drink.
Afternoon drink.
Yes.
Evening drink.
So, yes, there was nothing not appealing about this. All the way down to their selection. I mean, Crown Royal seems so fancy. You know?
Like, were they celebrating before? Like,
like drove drunk from North Carolina down?
well, like, oh, we're gonna get, like, this job is yours.
Right.
Woohoo! You got this job. Interview. You know, it's like, you don't have the job yet.
Right.
Keep the cork in the champagne.
So it was premature.
And it's like, I gotta get partying before you go to the interview.
Now, the beauty would have been if, like, she was driving to the police station for the interview. Like, if she was going to be, like, a 911 operator or something like that. That would have,
right. Now, I think
been perfect.
I had to go through the story again because that sounds familiar. Like, someone showed up at their job interview.
There was one of those
Fucked
that
up.
did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I was blurring them in my head.
That wasn't a database.
That would have been the best one. Like, if she had gotten arrested for a double DUI at 7:30 in the morning on, like, a Tuesday?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
You know, for her job as a 911 dispatcher.
A for effort on this one. It was so good.
Yeah. And again, it happened in Florida,
Right.
but they're from North Carolina.
I still count it as, it's not Florida Man.
It's not Florida Man, but it happened in Florida.
And did you read the comments on WPLG's website for the article?
Did not yet.
Oh, they're fucking hilarious. Like, they're not ripping her up, they're ripping the Keys up. like I think the very first comment was, did she get the job?
So they're still hiring?
Yeah. But it was, everything about it was so impressive. And again, it's taking everything the dirtbag Innes has ever done and just amping it up to 11.
Yeah.
You know?
It really is.
Like, every bad decision we could make, it just took a hammer to them.
And just make it all happen within 30 minutes.
Right. Like, I get this job, you know, it's going to be 9 to 5, I'm going to be straight-laced and buttoned down. Mm-hmm. I need to wreck some shit before that happens.
Yeah. I can't go into this.
Right. Bring me the velvet bag.
I got some. Bring the velvet bag. Bring the purple bag.
Right.
I'm kissing the old girl goodbye. Going out with a bang. And a purple bag of booze.
A purple bag. Yep. Oh, so good. So I kind of went the opposite way. I wasn't amused by this. I was more angry than anything else. And I went further west. So let me get my DJ voice. Man arrested for cloning giant sheep to breed for captive trophy hunts. A Montana man is facing a huge fine and possibly prison time after successfully cloning a species of giant sheep to be used to breed even bigger sheep for captive hunting in Texas and Minnesota. Arthur Jack Schubarth, an 81-year-old Vaughan, Montana resident, earned praise for successfully cloning the endangered sheep, but he faces a fine of $250,000 for violating the federal wildlife trafficking laws, according to the Associated Press. The violations also carry a possible 5-year prison sentence, although prosecutors aren't seeking jail time. So,
this one, there's so much,
right?
So many,
so much to unpack.
So much. I don't even know where to start. Okay, 81 years old.
Right. Okay.
Montana.
Right.
Middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Like, farmer? Like,
rancher?
out in the sticks.
Yes.
Let's just go mountain.
Yeah.
81-year-old Montana recluse of sorts.
Gotcha.
He's cloning sheep.
Yes, he is. He's cloning giant sheep.
Cloning shit on his farm.
Yes. Oh my god.
And
yeah,
it's like, could anybody do this? Is this something you like?
I don't know.
Like you out of the back of a comic, like go sea monkeys. You clip this out of
the
back of Guns and Ammo. Where do you find this shit to do this?
I don't know.
Like,
so
just cloning shit. I don't know.
I wasn't looking at that angle. I was looking at the last time we cloned sheep, Dolly.
Yeah.
Like they came out like, hey man, Dolly's a clone of another sheep, and everybody's like, oh fuck, we're gonna cure cancer. No, not Arthur Jack.
No,
he's like, we can hunt this shit.
Yeah,
you know, it's that fucking white guy rule. Like, if I can't eat it or fuck it, I'm gonna kill it. Yes,
but because we all woke now,
right?
I'm just gonna kill the ones I make myself. That way, I'm not endangering any.
Absolutely.
You know, I'll get off the PETA list.
Right.
Because I'm just killing the ones I built myself.
I made these.
Like, these are mine. I built it. It's mine.
But again, like, honestly, before anybody clones anything, you have got to fucking read some sci-fi books.
Mm-hmm.
Because name me one sci-fi book or movie that things get better by these mutants out in nowhere cloning shit. Never. Right?
Yeah, another good
I'll give you a moment. We can stick an ad in here while Tom's thinking.
Hang on, let me think.
No.
Yeah, nothing ever. Oh. What was it called? Carbon. They were like, you could download your whole.
Oh, yes.
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon, that's right.
Okay, well, that's not a good argument because like people would live for, like it was sort of a
because I mean I don't remember a lot of that show, but I remember a lot of blood and people getting murdered for some reason.
Yeah,
like they were trying to stop the people that were 8th generation or some weird shit.
Well, it took money, and that's always
okay. So it was
always
it was okay for the dude being cloned, but everybody else, however, not so great.
Yeah.
Yes, because weren't they like banished from? I'd have to watch it again. I don't know. It was one of the shows that got
great
canceled.
series.
Yeah, it got canceled too soon by Netflix.
Yeah, but there's like a follow-on anime version. But Altered Carbon was great, but. I think on the surface, like the initial idea of, you just keep generating bodies and you could like save your consciousness.
Yes.
And then have it uploaded into yourself.
Right. But okay, so I was bothered by the cloning in Montana by an 81-year-old man.
Yeah.
And then again, giant sheep.
An 81-year-old man who probably owns and uses regularly a spittoon.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No. But it was handed down from his pappy. And I want to say, it like from the article, this was like, what they call it, like enclosed. So it's not like they're just setting them free.
No.
They're hunting them within like a restricted area.
Yeah.
So again, like there's nothing manly about that. There is nothing masculine about shooting a lion that has been pumped full of drugs.
Right.
So they're basically printing their own endangered species to hunt on their own property, which not manly at all. But it's the middle of nowhere. The rules are different there, so I understand it. It's gross to me. So this guy, there's so much good for the entire world you could do with the ability to clone.
Yeah.
And this fucker, like, basically finds the only way that he could possibly profit himself without doing any good and goes down that path.
Right?
Like any other pursuit would have accidentally made it better for the world.
Yeah.
But no. He's just awful.
The thing is, yeah. Evil genius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes.
Because how?
Yes, that's a big one too. Like, does he have a secret lab? Like under it, like he's got like this little wooden shack out in the middle of nowhere. It probably like has like the outhouse with the quarter moon carved into the door.
Yeah,
but you walk in and you pull the chandelier or some bullshit.
There's a lever.
Yes, there's a secret lair.
The elevator.
Yes.
Yeah, that goes down.
And like the lights all flicker on as you land on that floor. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I don't know.
I totally see it like a Bond villain.
Yeah, but the first time I read this, I'm like, okay, this guy's vile. But then, like, I read the article, like the big version. I thought, you know what? At least once, this guy's fucked one of these things. You know he has.
Yeah.
You know, nobody is that obsessed with giant sheep without like having a very, very, very intimate relationship with at least one of them.
Yeah.
Just,
I'll show you a bighorn. Come here, Dolly.
Right? Why do all of these sheep have bald patches like, on their back haunches?
And they all look like orangutans from behind.
The handles keep falling off.
Oh my god.
But yes, I'm so grateful for the incredible volume of stupid that Tom has locked in for the next quarter or so.
Yeah.
Good
Apologies in advance.
Yes. But again, reaching out to the handful or so of people that actually listen to this, we're both in Columbus now.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to just hang out, everything that is on this table is battery operated.
Yeah.
So we can go anywhere we want and talk to anyone we want. So drop us a line. If you like bad-mouthing stupid people, brother, we got a chair for you at the table.
Absolutely. Come on down.
Right on.
You are more than welcome to sit at our table and drink some beers and
Drink beer and talk stupid.
shoot some shit.
Yes. But on that note,
Not Rocky Mountain Bighorn hybrid sheep.
God damn it. Again, it just bothers me. Like, you would stumble into something good if you did anything else but send them out on the mountain to be shot by dentists, which I picture are the fuckers that are going out here shooting giant sheep.
Yeah.
Right?
Why did you're not wrong. Like, I'm right there with you. But it's like, God, yeah. Fucking dentists.
Yes.
Guys are out there shooting everything.
Yep. But yes, so anyway, drop us a line if you want to hang out. Otherwise, enjoy what we've put together for you, and we'll see you in like a month or so-ish.
Yeah.
And maybe with new theme music, too. I've got some new tunes that we're going to test drive and see which ones fit. But in the interim, we're still going to use Tim's music, and we will cue that up now as we fade off into the ether.
Ciao for now.
Ciao for now, brown cow.
Out now. I like being able to hear the music. It's nice.
It is nice, isn't it? It's very pretty.
Oh, we didn't say goodnight to Emily.
Good night, Emily.